Let's say you are working in a project management team and each project has its dedicated Excel file which is stored in SharePoint. Here, all team members log daily update and task status in their Excel file. However, creating and updating this file manually can be tedious, especially if new project keeps coming in. So what if you could automate the creation of new Excel file and adding or updating data in Excel file? How you can do that? You can do that using Power Automate. Today in this video, you will learn about how you can create Excel file using Power Automate and how you can add data in that. Hi, this is Krupali from KnowHow Academy. I welcome you all to PowerApp tutorial. Before going ahead in this video, let me tell you what you will learn from this video. You will learn how you can create Excel file in SharePoint site using Power Automate and how you can add data in that Excel file. So without delay, let's get started. Here, this is my SharePoint site. The name of a SharePoint site is KnowHow, and in the document, I have one folder called General. So that is basically default channel. Now inside that channel, I want to create data in YouTube folder. Or you can say I want to create Excel file in YouTube data folder. So how you can do that? So first of all, you need to log in into your Power Automate account and then you need to click on create. Then you can schedule or you can run Automate Cloudflow or you can run Instant Cloudflow. But here for this example, I will create Instant Cloudflow and I will pass parameter manually in that. So take Instant Cloudflow and here we will trigger it manually. That is manually trigger a flow and here give a flow name as Excel file creation. You can give any name and click on create. Here you will see that the name of the flow is here and by default one trigger is added, that is manually trigger a flow. Now what you need to do next? You need to create a file in SharePoint site and which type of file you want to create. So I want to create Excel file. So for that click on plus sign and add an action. Here you need to click on allow. So let me add an action and here you need to search for the action that is create a file. Now where you want to create a file? I want to create a file in SharePoint site. So you need to select SharePoint and inside that you need to select create file. Then you need to select from which or you can say here you need to select in which SharePoint site you want to create Excel file. So you need to select that SharePoint site. So I'm selecting KnowHow Personal because I have created it for demo purpose. Then where you want to create. So here you can click on that folder and here in shared document, not in shared document but shared document, inside that general folder is there and inside a general folder you want to create a file in YouTube data folder. So select that and then after writing a slash, not slash but you need to just write a path. Then here you need to give a file name. Now here as I told you that n number of file can be created. So here you can create a file such a way that the name of the file can be a dynamic. Let's say one project comes into the November, second project will come into the December and maybe some previous projects came into October or July. So here I will create a file with the current month name. Okay, so what you need to do, you can select that, not here, you need to click on fx and here you need to write a function which will take the current month. So for that you need to write UTCNow UTCNow will return the entire date and time, that is month, year and date format, plus what is the current time, that is hour, minute and second. But I want to create a file with the current month name. So inside a single quotation, you need to write for time M. So one Excel file will be created with the current month. Now, as I here when I am recording this video, current month is November. So November name file will be created with the XLS extension. So you need to write, you need to click on add. After that, you need to write the extension of the file. So I want to create Excel file. So XLSX, that is a default extension. Now when I'm creating a file, I want to create a blank file. So here in file content, you just need to write one space, or you just put your cursor and press space bar from the keyboard. So here blank file will be created. Okay, now let me just save that. So here file will be created, but here our task is not yet over. I want to write data inside a file. So let me run this flow, which is not completed, but I can check whether the file is created or not. So let me save it and test it manually and click on test, and it will ask for the SharePoint site. Now here you can see that in my SharePoint site only one employee data.csv file and another document file is there. After running the flow, one Excel file will be created with the current month. Okay, so go to the flow, select that and click on continue, and then click on run flow. So here your flow run started, and you can see that both of the things, whatever I have written, that is one is trigger is executed and create file is executed successfully. Now let me go to the edit. Okay, and here if you go to your SharePoint site and just refresh it, so here you can see that a November Excel file is created. Now here if you can open that, nothing will be there in the file. Why? Because I have created a blank file. Now what I want to do, I want to create a table in the Excel file, and then I want to write data inside that. So what I can do, I can just delete that file which I have created. Why? Because I want to show you the demo that how you can create file and how you can create table inside Excel file and how you can write data in that. Okay, so let me just delete that file. Okay, so file is deleted and then I can use that. Now after creating a file, I want to create a table inside a flow. So what I can do, not inside a flow, but I want to create table inside a created Excel file. So for that you need to click on plus sign and add an action, and here I want to create table. So search for the action create table. So here in Excel Online Business, create table is there. So click on that. So here your table will be created. Now where can be the location of the table? So here you can select the SharePoint site which you want. So here same Excel file where it is there, I want to create a table inside that. Now document library. So in that document section, whenever we are creating any file, by default it will be stored in shared document, but here it is considered it as a document. Then file. So which file you want to create? So I want to not create a file, but in which file you want to write data. So the file which is created before the current action, in that file I want to write data, or I want to create a table. So here you can see that here that effects and the kind of symbol is there. So click on that upper symbol, and here you can select body ID. So unique ID of the file or a folder. So whatever the previous section is there, for that ID I will select. Now table range. Now table range means how many columns will be there in that table. So let's say I want to write my first name, my date of task, and I want to write the task status. So I will select the column range. So in Excel, column will start with A and end with the Z something. So here I will write A1. Here table range means you need to give a column reference which can be considered it as a table. So out of n number of column in Excel file, that first three or whatever column reference you are providing, it is considered it as a table column. So here you need to write A1 and 3 columns I want to create. So A, B and C. So A1 to C1 column will be there. Now in advanced property, you can give table name or you can give column name. So let me give a column names and click on outside. Now here you need to write your column name. Now remember, what can be the column name of A1, what can be the column name of B1 and what can be the column name of C1. So 3 column name I want to pass. So here let me write a column name, let's say for name. Okay, then each column is separated by comma, then that is task date, that is a second, and third one is task status. So here my table will be created with this 3 column. Okay, now let me save that, wait until it will just complete. Now here you can see whatever the action I have created, it is saved successfully. Now after that I want to write data inside the table. So here what you can do, you can click on the plus sign, add an action, and here in the created table I want to add row. So here you can select the add row action, add a row into the table because I want to add data. So click on that add row. Now here you need to select the SharePoint site location. Let me just go to the SharePoint site, what is KnowHow Personal. Then document library, as you mentioned that that document. Now that file ID, in which file you want to create. So in that you can see that we have given a file which is created by body ID. Okay, so here you need to write that selective ID or dynamic ID. So here you need to click on that, and here you can write body name or let's say body ID. Let me just see. I think table name I need to write, or you can say that body item ID or body ID. So in previous section we have selected body ID, so let me select that body ID. So in that file the data will be written. Now what can be the table name? So I want to add a custom table value. When we are creating table inside Excel file, we need to give a name of a table. So in previous step I forget to give a name, so here you can give a name. So let's say this is table 1 for demo. Okay, you can write any name. Now in advanced parameter you can write a row what you want to write. Okay, so in just if you click on that, date and time format you can write, or what data you want to write, that you need to mention in the row, that is row star, that means that property you should write. Now whenever I want to mention the row inside the Excel, first I need to write it inside a curly bracket. Now inside a curly bracket, first you need to write a column name inside a double quotation. Now here you need to remember what column name you have given in the previous action. So here this is the beauty of new designer, that you can right click on it and click on pin an action. So whatever the action you have written inside a previous action, you can see that. So here my column name is name, task, date and task status. So let me copy that and here I will paste that. Now whatever the column name it is there, you should write it inside a double quotation. Then after you need to write colon, and then you should write bracket, not bracket but comma. Then after you need to write another column name inside a double quotation, then colon, and whatever the data will be there for the respective column, you can write it, and then complete the bracket. Okay, right? And then you need to write colon. So here the respective column name, then you need to write colon, and then after you need to write data, and then you should write comma. Okay, now here I need to mention the name. So I can statically write my name inside double quotation or some another name, but this can be a thing that every time Krupali name will be written if I write Krupali. So what I can do, whatever input I will get from the trigger, that input I will write. So here click on that action and click on add an input, and first I will add an input of name. Okay, let me just write it properly, name. Then I want to add an input with the task status, but that is task date. Okay, so that is task date, that is the input name. And third is task status, that can be a type of text. So task status. Okay, then let me save that. Okay, here's error come because I forget to mention the row information. So click on that, and here if you click that, and if you just click on this dynamic content, and here you will see whatever the name you have passed. So here I cannot see my input, so I need to refresh that. So let me just save that, and here it is showing that you cannot save it because you need to write value. So let me delete that action, and then I will write it again. Let me save it. And refresh, and then I will add an action. So let's add an action again. So let me just zoom little bit. Okay, and here I will click on that plus sign and add an action and search for add row. Same action you need to select. So add row into a table. Then here you need to select the SharePoint site name. Then you need to select the where it is. So it is in document, and then which file. So here you can select the file name which is there by the previous. Okay, so that is create file. So whatever file it is created, that ID I want. Then you need to write a name of a table. So in previous action I did not write a table name, so here I can enter a custom value and select, or I can write table. Let me write a name in proper capital, TABLE1, and then demo, table 1 demo. Then in advanced parameter, you need to select anything if it is required, but once you write a table name, automatically a row property will show. So inside that you need to write a row. So what row I need to write inside a created table? So that row you need to write it inside a curly bracket. Then here you need to write the name of a column. Now remember, name of the column should be same as a table column name which you have created in the previous action. So you can right click and pin an action. So here whatever name you have given, you can see that. So here you need to write the name of a column. So name, then remember column name you should write it inside a double quotation. So column name same as I have written, so you can copy paste it. Then after you need to write colon, and inside a single quotation you need to write a value. So what value I need to write? I need to write a value which is I am accepting as a parameter or input parameter. So you can click on that and here you will see that name. Okay, then second column name you need to write comma, and then again write the same column name. So let me copy that, and here you can paste it and write it inside a double quotation. Then you should write colon, and here you need to write date, but date you should not write it in a single quotation. So select input parameter date, so that is task date. Then you should write comma, and then you should write again the column name, that is last column name, that is task status. So copy that column name and write it inside double quotation and write colon. And what you want to write? You want to write the dynamic parameter, so task status. So this way you need to write a row value. So whatever you have entered, it will be there. Okay, now if it is not required, just unpin it. And here they are saying that it is invalid JSON parameter. So maybe I have made some mistake inside that. So let me see that column name I have written it properly inside a single quotation. Then I think task date I should write it in a single quotation. Let me see that. Let me just write it inside a single quotation. Okay, maybe still there is an error. Yes, I made a mistake that whatever I have write for input parameter, I should not write it inside a single quotation, but I should write it in a double quotation. So let me remove a single quotation and write it inside a double quotation, and date should not be in a double quotation. Remember, when in Power Automate you are supplying parameter which is a type of text, you should write it inside a double quotation. Date, you should not write it inside a single quotation or double quotation. And let me just again write a task status in double quotation. Okay, so I think the error will not come. Yes, and let me just save it. And remember one thing, that whatever date you are mentioning, which date format, so date and time format, you should write it in what format. So let's say here date format, I want to select ISO 8601, so it is a standard date format. Okay, and then save it. Okay, so I hope it's saved successfully. Now let me run and check it. So here I have already deleted a created file which I have created in previous run or previous test. So let me test it manually and click on test. I need to sign in and select continue. And here let's say I'm giving my name as a Krupali, and task date I'm mentioning that is 5, and task status let's say complete. Okay, and run flow. So here you will see that, let me just click on done. Then trigger will fire, file will be created, table is created. Just wait. Now here an error come. What's the error? Let me see that. It is saying that table 1 demo is not found, or you can say that a table was not found with the name table demo. So what I can do here, let me click on edit flow. Oh, I accidentally switched in the old designer. Let me just switch, save and switch again. So when I was creating a table, I write a column name, and let's say table name I did not mention, so let it be as it is. And here in that action it is showing that table 1 demo not found. Let me just write table 1 only, table 1. Okay, and save it. And here file is created, so I need to delete it because created but not executed the row action, that's why. So let's test it again. Click on test and hope for that it will run successfully. Let's say Krupali, then task date, and then task status, let's say complete, and click on run flow, and that. I hope it will run. Oh, here create file SharePoint list November is locked. I just deleted a file, not deleted, but it's just I need to refresh it. Okay, now it's deleted. And let me just refresh this SharePoint site tab, and let me go to edit, if file is already there, then it will create an error, or if it is already open, then it also sometimes generate an error. So the small things you need to keep it in mind. Error is a sign that you are at the right place. Don't worry. So I'm testing it again. Let me just give value quickly. This time it should run successfully. Yes, it's done. Now let me see that. So here file will be there. Let me just refresh, and here you can see that. So here a file is created, and you can see the data is there inside a file. So I hope you understand how you can create file in SharePoint site using Power Automate, and how you can create table and write data inside that. Now let me show you one more thing which I have done. I have already created one flow which will create file, and if the file is created, then it will write data. And if the file is not created, then it will create a file and it will write data. So for that, I take an action called manually trigger flow. Then before the create file, I had taken a condition, and before the condition, I take one action called get files properties only. So here what it will do, or what that action will do, that action will get the file properties, what is the name of the file, on which date it is created, and so on. Then inside that I need to pass the site address, then where it is, and here you need to write a filter query. So here you should write file ref, that is file reference. Okay, now what file reference you are finding? The current month file name with the extension .xls, it is there. So here I have written this expression which will check whether the November file is exist, and if it is exist, it will return 1 or something, and if it is not written, if the file is not there, then it will return 0. 1 is for true and 0 is for false. Then I have taken one action. Now here in that action I have write one expression, that is length. Now what can be the length? So what will be the output of that action? I have written that. So let's say if you just remove it and you just write dynamic content, and here if you just write like that, it will create automatically. Okay, so no need to write this entire thing manually, you just need to write the body value. Okay, so whatever it is written by that property, here it will come. So if something will return, then it will return 1, or you can say that if the length is 1, then that means file is there. Okay, then let me just click it again, and then you should write it is equal to 0. That means if the file is created or not. If the condition is true, that means if the length is 0, that means file is not there. Okay, then it will create a file, create table, and add a row. And if the file name is already exist, then what it will do? It will write one action, that action called get file metadata using path. Now metadata is for what? What is the name of the file? What is the table inside that? So for that you should write again site address and path, what is the name of the file. Now here you need to write that path manually. So what you should write? You should click on that and select the folder path. Then you should write that / and then whatever the dynamic name of the file you should write. So UTCNow which I have written in the create file, so you should write that. So here basically it is checking that file november.xls file is there or not. Here M is for current month, so current month is November when I am recording this video. So here it will check, and if it is getting data, so or you can say get file metadata using path. So whatever the path is there, from that it will get metadata, and then again add row in that, whatever it is saying. Okay, now let's test it. But before that, I need to delete the file. Let me just close that file. And here, let me delete that. Same name file, otherwise it will overwrite or it will generate an error. Okay, so file is deleted. So let me just run it manually. And here, name I'm writing test, then date, let's say 6, and test summary, and click on run flow. It's done. So file is not there, so it will be created, then table will be created inside that, and data will be there. So let me just see. Just wait for some time, file will be there. Otherwise, you can refresh it. Here, see, automatically file will come after few seconds, and here data will be there. Now what we will do, again we will run the same flow and try to execute this false part. Why? Because here get file property and then condition will check what if the file is already there. Then it will get the metadata of file and then it will write the content. So let me just go to edit. Okay, sometime I accidentally switch on or switch off the new designer. Let me just test it. Here this time I am giving KnowHow and selecting the current date, and task summary is summary. And this is the task. This is the task. Okay, and run flow. So flow runs successfully. Now let's check that whatever I have written, it is there inside a file or not. So here you can see that whatever I have written, it is added in the next row after the current row. Okay, so this way you can create file inside a SharePoint. So I hope you understand. Before ending this video, let me tell you what you have learned from this video. You have learned how to create Excel file in SharePoint site and how you can create table and add data in that Excel file. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as a source of your IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate to the tech world. If you have any question, do not feel hesitate to reach out us. Stay curious, keep learning.